Welcome to this deep dive, episode 6 of the CPR Business Development Podcast. Today we're tackling SWOT analysis.
That's right. And if you want to follow along visually, there's a link to a SWOT analysis chart right there in the descriptions.
Perfect. So SWOT, it's, one of those classic tools for strategic planning.
Absolutely. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Basically, it helps you get a really clear picture of where your organization, or in this case, your CPR business, stands.
Yeah, it's like a snapshot, right, for making better decisions. It's been around a while, but it's still incredibly useful.
It really is. And today, we're specifically going to, well, unpack how you can apply it directly to your CPR business based on some great resources exploring this framework.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What exactly is SWOT? And maybe more importantly, why should a CPR business owner, someone listening right now, care about it?
Well, at its heart, it's about those four pieces we mentioned. Strengths, that's what you do well internally. Things like maybe highly certified instructors or great location.
Okay, internal positive.
Exactly. That weakness is still internal, but these are the areas where maybe you're not so strong. Perhaps limited marketing reach or outdated equipment.
Right, the internal negatives. Got it.
Then you shift focus outward. Opportunities are the positive external factors. Think new regulations requiring more training or maybe an underserved market nearby.
Things you could potentially take advantage of.
Precisely. And finally, threats. These are the external negatives. So new competitors popping up or perhaps economic shifts making training budgets tighter for your clients.
So it's this structured way of looking both inside your CPR business and at the whole environment around it.
Exactly. And for a CPR business owner, it's super valuable because it helps you understand your current position. It moves you from just guessing to actually making informed decisions based on, reality. It helps you hit your specific goals.
And it sounds like it can be pretty flexible too. Is it always this huge involved process?
Not necessarily. That's one of its strengths, actually. SWOT can be a fairly quick analysis if you need a starting point, or it can be used at the end of a deeper dive to kind of summarize all your findings.
Okay.
Yeah, you could use it for all sorts of things. Strategy workshops with your team, checking out the competition, focusing on one specific goal like boosting class enrollment or looking at the whole business picture. Very versatile.
Okay, I think I get the four components. But how do they fit together? You often see it laid out in a grid, right?
Yeah, exactly. The classic format is a 2x2 matrix. Just picture like a square divided into four smaller squares.
Okay.
Top left, you put your strengths. Top right is for weaknesses. Bottom left, opportunities. And bottom right is threats.
Simple enough. Is there a logic behind that layout?
Oh, definitely. It's designed very intentionally. The top row, strengths and weaknesses, covers all the internal factors, things that are more or less within your control as a business owner.
Right, like your team skills or your booking process.
Exactly. And the bottom row, opportunities and threats, that's all external. The market conditions, competitors, regulations, stuff that's happening outside your business.
Okay, internal top, external bottom. Makes sense.
And then look left to right. The left column, strengths and opportunities. Those are the helpful factors, the positives. The right column, weaknesses and threats. Those are the harmful factors, the negatives or challenges.
Ah, I see. So it really forces you to categorize things clearly. Internal versus external, and helpful versus harmful.
Precisely. And make sure every key strategic thought has, a specific place. And when you're thinking internal strengths and weaknesses, you're considering things like, are your processes efficient? What resources do you have? You could use other tools like McKinsey 7S for a super deep dive internally, but for SWOT, you focus on the big hitters.
Okay. And then for the external side, opportunities and threats.
Yeah, that's where you're scanning the horizon. What are competitors up to, or their new health trends? Any changes in local laws? Again, there are deeper tools like pestle analysis or Porter's 5 forces for external stuff, but SWOT aims to capture the most critical external points for your strategy.
Now, you mentioned something earlier about how it can sometimes be tricky to label things, especially external factors, as purely positive or negative. How does a CPR business owner navigate that?
That's a really common sticking point. Sometimes a threat might feel like it could push you to improve, making it seem like an opportunity. But for the SWOT itself, it's crucial to be objective.
Okay.
Ask yourself, if I do absolutely nothing about this external factor, is it likely to help my business reach its goals or hinder it? For instance, a new CPR training center opening down the street.
Right, that feels like a threat.
It generally is, because left alone, it could take clients. Now, your response might be to improve your own services, which leverages an opportunity to strengthen your business. But the initial factor, the competitor, is classified as a threat. Keeping that distinction clear makes the analysis much more powerful later on.
That makes sense. Define it first by its raw impact if ignored. Okay, so let's get practical. How does someone listening right now actually do a SWOT analysis for their CPR business, step by step?
Okay, first things first, define your scope and objective. What exactly are you analyzing? Is it your overall business strategy?
Right.
A specific course you offer? Your marketing plan? You need that focus.
Right. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick a specific area. What's next?
Gather your resources and data. Look inside your business, pull up your training records, sift through customer feedback, check your finances, list your instructor certs,
Mm-hmm.
and then look outside. What are competitors charging? What are the local safety regulations? Are there community health initiatives happening? Talk to your team too. Get their input. They see things from different angles.
Good point. Involve the whole team if you have one.
Hmm.
Okay. Data gathered. How do you start identifying, say, opportunities?
You start asking questions. Like, are there new health trends, maybe around workplace safety, that could increase demand? Are there specific groups, maybe daycares or sports teams in your area that need CPR training but aren't getting it? Could you partner with, say, a local hospital or community center?
Okay, looking for those openings. What about threats? What questions help uncover those?
Think about what could trip you up. Are competitors launching aggressive marketing campaigns? Are the governing bodies for CPR changing certification standards in a way that costs you money or time? Is the economy making people cut back on training? Are online-only options becoming more popular and maybe threatening your in-person model?
Yeah, those are definitely things to consider. Now, turning inwards, identifying strengths.
This is where you look at what you do really well. Do your instructors have amazing credentials or a fantastic teaching style people rave about? Is your booking system super smooth? Do you have top-notch mannequins or a great training space? What makes clients choose you?
Focusing on the positives you control. And the flip side, the harder part may be identifying weaknesses.
Yeah, this requires honesty. Ask, where could we improve? Is some of our equipment getting a bit worn? Is our website hard to navigate? Do we sometimes struggle with consistent scheduling? Are there gaps in the types of specialized training we can offer?
Being real about where the gaps are. Okay, so you've asked all these questions, brainstormed, got lists for S, W, O, and T, now what?
Now you pull it all together in that 2x2 matrix we talked about. Literally write down the points in the correct boxes. Strengths top left, weaknesses top right, opportunities bottom left, threats bottom right. Seeing it visually like that is really helpful.
Get it organized, but the matrix itself isn't the end goal, right? What's the crucial next step?
Absolutely not. The real magic happens when you analyze the matrix. You start looking for connections. How can we use our strengths to go after those opportunities? That's often called SO strategies.
Okay, matching strengths to opportunity.
Right. Or how can we use our strengths to minimize the impact of threats? ST strategies. Then, how do we address our weaknesses to stop them from blocking opportunities? WO strategies. And critically, how do we minimize our weaknesses to make us less vulnerable to threats? WU strategies.
Ah, so it's about generating actual strategies by combining the different elements, turning insight into action for the CPR business.
Exactly, that's the core purpose. And one more thing, SWOT isn't a do it once and forget it's exercise. The world changes, your business changes. You need to revisit your SWOT analysis regularly, maybe every 6 months, or annually to keep it fresh and relevant.
Definitely. A living document. Are there any sort of pro tips or best practices you'd suggest for doing a SWOT?
Yeah, a couple of useful approaches. Some people find it helpful to actually do the external analysis. First, look at threats and opportunities before assessing their internal strengths and weaknesses.
Oh, interesting. Why start outside?
The thinking is, it helps you understand the landscape, the context you're operating in, before you evaluate your own capabilities, sort of an outside-in view. You might also hear people talk about different strategic viewpoints, like the resource-based view, focusing on leveraging internal strengths, versus the market-based view, focusing on external opportunities.
Okay.
Both are valid lenses, but the absolute key, no matter the order, is to be specific and generate real strategic insights, not just generic bullet points. And remember that YouTube video we mentioned, SWOT and your CPR business from CPR Business Mastery? That could be a really practical resource too.
Good reminder. So let's kind of summarize the big picture benefits here. Why should our CPR business owner invest time in this? And are there common mistakes to avoid?
The big benefits are really its simplicity and flexibility. It gives you that structured way to think strategically without being overly complicated. You can use it right at the start of planning or to wrap things up. It's great for sparking discussion.
And the potential pitfalls. I know some people say SWOT is maybe too basic or outdated.
Yeah, you hear that criticism. But honestly, its simplicity is often its strength. It's lasted this long for a reason. The real danger isn't the tool itself, it's doing it poorly.
How so?
Well, if you just list really vague things like good instructors as a strength or competition as a threat, without digging deeper or being specific, it's not going to give you much actionable insight. You need to be honest, thorough, and really think about the implications of each point.
So, like any tool, it's garbage in, garbage out, basically. A shallow SWOT won't help much, but a thoughtful one can be really powerful.
Exactly right. Put in the effort, be specific, be honest, and it can really clarify your path forward and help your CPR business succeed.
This has been incredibly helpful, really breaking down how SWOT applies specifically in the CPR context. Getting that clear view of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats seems vital.
It truly is. If you dedicate that time to do a solid, honest SWOT, you're giving yourself a huge advantage, better decisions, a clearer strategy, and ultimately a stronger position in the CPR training market.
So for everyone listening, we really encourage you, take that first step, block out some time, grab that chart from the description if you like, and start mapping out the SWOT for your own CPR business.
And thank you for joining the CPR podcast. Please subscribe, like, and comment so we can keep making more content like this for you.
Yeah.
Next up is episode 7, The Ultimate Guide, How to Grow a CPR Business.
Yep, and don't forget you can click the link in the descriptions to get your copy of The Ultimate Guide, How to Grow a CPR Business.
Definitely check that out.
And just as a final thought to leave you with, consider this. How might getting really, truly honest about your CPR business's biggest weaknesses actually unlock the door to your most significant, perhaps even unexpected opportunities for growth, especially as the whole landscape of health and safety keeps changing? Something to chew on.